You know what I don't like? Stuff that doesn't work. Remember that PlayStation 3 that I bought? Well, I only played like 5 times on this console. And that is simply because it has fucking died. Whenever I would play on the console, it would just lose its power. And this just happens randomly. Like I will be playing for an hour with no problem. And sometimes I will be just playing for 1 minute and it just cuts its power. So my first attempt was to buy a new internal power supply unit. I bought not only one that didn't work, I bought a second one that doesn't fit. This took about a month or so. And after those 2 failures, I went to a specialist, Johan Veenstra, the guy who I interviewed for Character Unlocked. He checked it, he measured it, and his conclusion was that the internal GPU was dying and failing. I also swapped the power cable just to be sure. So this thing was just manhandled a lot, as you could have seen from the previous video where I just refurbished it. So I bought another one. I've already tested it and it works fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this one, upgrade this one, and I'm going to replace the top and bottom covers with the previous one.
I pop open the tabs on the bottom and remove the screws. Then the front 3 screws. And as you can see, it's in a pretty good condition. Just a little dust here and there, but in overall good condition. Let's get these modules out of the way so I can start the cleaning. First up is the power supply unit, then the Blu-ray drive. Proceeding to the front button panel. It's off to removing screws on the chassis. I removed the main fan for cleaning as well. This looks mediocre dirty. It's just a little bit dusty. Nothing I can simply clean. Proceeding to remove the power brick insert. With a little bit of wiggle, the complete internals just snap out. The bottom plate is connected with these labeled screws, as well as the bottom cooling plates. Now I did some work already and installed an SSD that I remove here. And the bottom plate has been detached, revealing the bottom of the motherboard. And I removed the top plate as well. Now instead of using pressured cans all the time, which costed me a lot of money and aren't environmental friendly, I purchased this electrical dust blower, which works tremendous. This front piece blows out dust and cleans it out at the same time. Time to remove that crappy looking crusty ass old CPU paste for some new fresh one. This means cleaning both the CPU and GPU with some alcohol drenched tissue. I do the same for the top plate, which has even more and harder to remove old CPU paste. That new blower makes life much easier. As I just blast enormous winds into that PSU to remove dust, it just flies out on the other side. That fan is in need of some cleaning, so I first blow out the dust, then with a wet tissue and a screwdriver I clean each fan blade. I place it back inside the fan chassis, reverting back to applying that CPU paste. And you know, as long as I'm here, I replace that 2032 battery. Time to clean that Blu-ray drive, which was pretty clean to begin with, but you know, it's there, might as well give it a good clean while I'm doing the rest. One of the things I want to test out is the Eraser mod by Naked Snake 1995. This is a technique of placing a measured cut piece of eraser block underneath the hole of the motherboard that's aligned with the CPU, as the mod should tighten the CPU and the metal plate closer to each other, resulting in a less harder console and better cooling. I clean up some other items like the Wi-Fi pyramids, the power brick insert, and the front button panel with air blowing. After I put back the console together, I installed custom firmware and then a firmware package called Irisman, which displays both the CPU and GPU temperatures. Now these are the temps when idle. Pretty nice, as normally these run almost into its 90s when idling, so that Eraser mod is doing its job pretty well.
And now for the ill fate of the previous PS3 console. Now I've gotta be honest, I'm going to salvage some parts of this console, but the previous console has made me very angry. So it's going to be destroyed in a traditional Fist and Bros manner.
これでは私のゲームの楽しみを台無しにしたオーラゲームを破壊します。プレイステーション